Hey everybody. Peace out. This is Scotty. Listen, I was putting in some new strap lock buttons on my Fender P-Bass. And it was like this. It's been like this for a while. The screw was stripped out of the hole. I'll point down to where I'm at. It is on the upper horn of the bass body, the upper horn, which is the top of the bass. You got your upper horn, your lower horn. I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay. Here's your upper horn, okay? Here's your lower horn. This is your E string, G string, E string, okay? So this is your, or you can call it big horn and little horn, okay? Okay, and we all know that your strap lock buttons go in right here, okay? And what I've got going on here, the old strap lock come out of it. This is the original strap lock, okay? But it was stripped because when I got the bass, the screw was loose, and I tried to tighten it up, and it never would tighten up. It just sat there, and it would tighten up not even barely. But then it just break loose again and just keep on. And you think, oh geez, what am I gonna do? You know, because they come factory with them strap buttons in them from the factory. It's where somebody's tightened them too tight. They just kept bearing down on the screw with the screwdriver, and they pulled, that screw has actually pulled those threads apart inside. You know, the screw going right here. I mean, that screw, when it gets screwed in, if you can see that, can you focus on that? See the threads on that screw? When they go in there, that screw is actually pulling against, just like that screw's pulling, okay, against that wood to tighten up. And if you keep tightening it up, it eventually pulls what wood it's went through to tighten up, it strips it out. And then it won't, it's kind of smooth in there, so it don't have nothing to grip to. That's what happens, because, you know, like I say, as you turn that screw to tighten it up, it's pulling against that stuff, okay? And if you keep tightening it up, it gets tighter and tighter. Then you finally break it loose, and then it just gets loose again. That's what's happened anyway on that. This is the original strap button and the original screw that was in it. I was hoping the new strap button and the new screw would work, but it won't. So what I had to do last time is I cut me a toothpick. You just take the toothpick and you stick it in here, and you stick it all the way to where it won't go in no more, okay? Mark it with your thumbnail. So I've got it marked with my thumbnail here. So I'm just gonna cut it right there. Then you stick it back in there, and that'll give, see, here's the old toothpick that was in there. See, can you see them grooves that the screw put in that? So, you know, that toothpick will, after you put that toothpick in that hole, in the strap button hole, you can't use the same one over. If you say we done put this one in brand new. Once it's in there for a little bit, it ain't gonna work no more. You might be able to turn it over and work it, but I'm just gonna cut another one because I got it marked. So I'll just take it right there and just cut it. See, and that's about all I need. And I can just take that. I put the fat end in first, where it's fatter. See how the toothpick, it gets thinner, sharper. But I always grab the sharp end and put the fat end in first, because if you've got the fat end turned around, the screw's not going to go in as good in the hole. So I grab it by the sharp end, put the fat end in first. Just put it down in that hole. You got to make sure it's going to fit, that it fits down in the hole. You know, you don't want to have it, I mean, if it's sticking out just a teeny little bit, you'll be okay. See, but you don't want it sticking out a lot. It needs to be down in there pretty good. Then you can just take your new screw and your felt and your new strap lock button. Best advice I can give on this is always start these things by hand. Okay? Alright? I mean, just get them started by hand. That strips a lot of stuff out too. People trying to put stuff in with a little drill or impact, and they get it going in a little crooked. You know, so, and then by that screw going in crooked with a little impact or a little drill or something, because the drill will just go ahead and push it right on in there, and then you might make your hole not exact off to the right or the left, or up or down just a little bit. So just always make sure a couple, 2 or 3 turns by hand, and then you can take a drill or a screwdriver and you can screw it in that way. But always pay attention to how much you want to turn the drill power down. Okay, turn it down to where it don't hardly drill real tight at all. Then recheck after you drill it. Recheck it with the screwdriver, because you do want these things tight. Make sure your little foam, little piece of felt, make sure it's pushed down, okay, to where it will there we go. And you know what? If you mess it up, like if you mess up the screw hole with a piece of toothpick in it, just take the screw back out and get the toothpick out. You might have to turn it up and shake your base to get it to fall out. Cut you another piece of toothpick, put it back up in there. I mean, I'm telling you, that's what all your pros and stuff would tell you to do. A piece of toothpick will get it tight. And if it feels like it's not tightening up, you probably need to take the screw back out And like I say, it's not going to lock down super tight, and you don't want to lock it down super tight. You want it tight, but don't just keep locking it down. But like I say, if it don't feel like it's going to lock down, just take that screw back out, cut you another piece of toothpick, stick a new piece of toothpick in there and do it again. Like I say, you can take one toothpick and you can get two out of it. I mean, out of one toothpick, you can get 2 cuts out of it. So I mean, if you've got a handful of toothpicks, you could fix this base over and over and over. You know, that's the only thing. The only other option I got is to take that screw out and put a dowel rod in that and glue that dowel rod in there and make sure that dowel rod's smooth, and then re-drill the dowel rod. That's all you got. I mean, that's all you have to do on that. And the toothpick's a lot more simpler, a lot easier, and anybody can do that. I don't think I would be able to do the dowel rod. I could, I guess, but I'd want to practice on a junk base first. But I wouldn't want to try it on a good base. Something I can ruin it and be messed up. If I did it, I would want to try it for a little bit on something. It don't matter if I mess it up. So, but I care about my base. I don't want to screw it up, you know, because all you got to do, I mean, you have to be a real dummy or just not paying attention to what you're doing. You can work on this stuff and not mess it up, but if you pay attention to what you're doing. If you don't pay attention to what you're doing, or you don't care, you can jack something up real quick on your base. But anyway, so that's in there and that's tight. So that's all you got to do. Toothpick. All right. Peace out. Thank you guys for watching. Take care. Happy New Year's when it comes around in 4 more days. Bye-bye. God bless.